Here in Mocksville, North Carolina tonight at the DAVIE Pregnancy Care Center. And I just wanted you to see a little bit of what they're doing, and they're getting ready to have a great banquet and setting up for a great job. It looks great. I want to show you around. Carmen Childress is our Pregnancy Care Center director here. Great lady. You're going to get to meet her in just a second. Now, they are using a church gymnatorium to set up in. So as you enter the gymnatorium, this is what it looks like. And then as we come around the corner, you can see that they've decorated it nicely. They've used round tables, nice soft chairs, always important. And very simple but nice centerpieces right there. Very beautiful. And the table's laid out well, and there's good lighting in the room. It looks like we have a lot of volunteer youth helping out tonight. And here is a view from the platform area. And I want to take a quick look up because they aren't on right now. But across there is an entire beam of lighting for the stage. I can't talk enough about how important facial lighting is for your stage. Without good lighting, people have a hard time realizing the emotion and the passion of what you're saying. See that camera up there? That camera will record everything that's said tonight. Why is that important? It's very important because in today's day and age of political correctness, it's very important that you have a record of everything that is said at your event. You don't want someone later on to say, oh, you knocked or mocked a particular political party. You want to always have a record of any type of public meeting. So do that. Hey everybody, this is Gwen, and Gwen is executive director, but she's also the person in charge of making sure this banquet comes off right. Tell us what you did in preparation for your banquet, Gwen.
With a lot of help from a lot of volunteers, we first made sure we've got the speaker lined up. Once we've got our speaker lined up, then we go to different churches and try to get some youth to help us in setting things up. We've got our food donated by another local church that donates the food, and we start working on getting sponsors to take care of paying for these little things up front.
Excellent. Now, I saw you talking with the kids tonight. You're kind of giving them a pep talk on how to do it. You've done this 6 years in a row with kids. What's the thing that the kids need to know the most?
I'd say what they need to know the most is that they're here to serve. They need to be happy. They need to know that they're doing this because they love life. And I just usually sign them a couple of tables apiece, and they come back year after year and want to do it again the next year. They love the interaction, and folks love it because it's young people doing it. It's not stifling. It's kind of fun.
I noticed that you were even walking me through on how to serve the women first and then to serve the men. And, do you find with students, and I'm giving you a loaded question here, do you find with students it's best to tell them every possible scenario rather than letting them guess it?
I do, because we've had some mishaps, but that's okay. If I think it usually comes out, and it usually works out that way.
Well, you've done a nice job of setting up. You know, there's always the question, should I go to a public place? Should I rent a hotel? Should I go to a church facility? Have you guys talked about that? Why was the reason you've chosen the church?
We have always used a church facility because the church offers us the facility at no cost. If they're partners with us, it gives them a chance to say, you know, we support life and we're behind your ministry, and it just works for us. And then we keep our hands in it, in that we don't have to worry that night what's going to happen, because we know what's going to happen. It's been done time again.
Exactly. It wins or loses, but it's still, you feel like you're in a little more control of it.
Exactly. So we are here at a Baptist church, but our ministry is for like-minded churches. Doctrine, where the churches stand, we all come together on this issue of life. And at banquet time, we see that more than any other time. We'll have tables from all different churches here, and we have churches that sponsor us all during the year, different churches, not just Baptist churches. This is just the largest church facility in Davie County, and that's one of the reasons we choose to use this, besides the fact it's my home church.
Okay,
Because we've never done that. We've had male speakers, we've had women speakers, we've had those that share personal testimonies of past abortions. We've had some of our clients just share their testimony for a banquet, and we've never done this. And we heard about Mike Williams through the Statesville Center, And we decided, you know what, they're bringing him back for a second year, so we want him for a first year.
Hello, I'm Carmen Childress, and I am the director of DAVIE Pregnancy Care Center in Mocksville, North Carolina, and we're here tonight at our banquet. We are looking at a new location of lots of square footage, and we're almost tripling our size and square footage.
How long have you been at the place where you're at?
We've been there 6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
Now tell me a little bit about your donors, your constituency.
Most of our donors have been with us for several years. We do have some new donors, and but most of them are old timers.
Well, old timers are great. You know, everybody's wanting new donors, and they're saying we need to get new blood in here. But I'll tell you, it's much easier to get a little bit more out of an old donor than it is to get a new donor and get them turned on and plugged in. Tell me, how do you follow up with your donors after the program?
After the banquet, we send out thank you letters to each donor.
Okay, how soon do they get that?
Within the first week after the banquet.
Let me ask you a quick question. How often do you personally, or does your executive director personally contact each donor?
We send out a letter at Christmas, okay, and then our letter after the banquet.
Okay. Are there any personal phone calls?
Yes. Yes, our executive director, Gwen Jones, she calls during the banquet time to touch base with every donor.
You know, it's so neat, Carmen, because you're able to have a center where you can actually have hands-on with the clients, and then someone else can do the funding and that type of thing. It's so nice that you're not having to run double duty, and I know you do a lot of times. You have to do that too. Tell me, how active is your board in helping you do the fundraising?
Oh, our board is very active. They are the main ones who get the people to come to the banquet, as well as doing advertising and really talking it up a lot.
You know, I have noticed that a lot of times when you start to look at the actual budget numbers, that sometimes the board are actually the biggest givers at the center.
Yes, we do have a lot of board members that give quite a bit, but our major donors actually are through contacts from the board.
Excellent. And that's what you want from a board. You want a board that believes in you and is saying, hey, we're willing to go out and put our name on what you're doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, definitely. It's nice to have that.
Now, you're in rural North Carolina, most people would say.
Yes, out in the middle of nowhere.
but that's great. That's great, and it's great to have a center out here. How do you feel like your ministry differs from, say, someone who's in the city, or even, you know, you're what, 70 miles from Charlotte, North Carolina?
Yes.
How would your ministry differ from that in Charlotte?
Well, we are a much smaller community, much closer to each other. People really know actually what's going on in other people's lives, and it seems like they care a little bit more. You know, just a small community.
What are we trying to raise tonight?
Trying to raise money.
How much are we wanting to raise tonight?
Oh, a couple of years worth of budget would be good, you know, 100,000. As much as God, you know, pricks the hearts of people here.
How did you pick your speaker this year?
I heard Mike at the convention and fell in love with the comedian, and wanted to have something different than what we've had before.
Thank you so much for sharing with us and sharing with other center directors across the country who will enjoy tuning in and seeing what you're doing here.
Thank you.